everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel and today I'll be doing a university Q&A. You guys asked the Q's, I'm providing the A's. That is the lamest thing I've probably ever said in my life. But I think this is the last video in my university series. This is kind of me just answering all the questions that I didn't get to answer throughout my other videos that I've made. If you haven't seen my other videos, this whole week I've been uploading a bunch of different videos about how I study, how I prepare for classes, what I take to uni, what I bought for uni. Basically anything I could think of that would help you guys if you're starting uni for the first time or just want some help with university related things. So I'll link all the videos I've uploaded this week down below, or you can just go onto my channel and check it out. But like I said, today it's just pretty much answering the questions that I don't think I really got to answer throughout the other videos. So I asked you guys on Instagram to ask me questions. I always ask for Q&A questions on my Instagram, so if you don't follow my Instagram, definitely recommend doing that. And I've written down the ones that got asked the most and which ones I thought would be helpful to answer, so I'm going to answer them right now. I said answer like 5 times. Let's start answering them. The first question is, how did you decide which course you wanted to enroll in? For those of you who don't know, I'm studying psychology. I'm going into my second year, but I decided to do psychology because I knew I wanted to work with kids and I knew I wanted to help kids, but I didn't want to deal with like bodily fluids. I didn't want to deal with intestines and insides and gross things like that. Well, they're gross to me. I'm sure they're not gross to everyone, but psychology was a way that I could help kids, help them improve their quality of life without kind of dealing with all the gross stuff, you know? And I've always found psychology incredibly interesting. I've been doing my own research on psychology, just like with the internet and with books and stuff. Like ask my mum. I know so much about so many mental disorders because I've just done so much of my own research on it. I find mental illness incredibly interesting, and it was something that I really wanted to look into, and it was just the only thing I could imagine studying for 4 years, or over 4 years if I want to do my masters. And I think that's a good question to ask yourself. Ask yourself what you're passionate about, what you find interesting, and what could you imagine yourself studying for like 3 or 4 or more years. Because if you want to do nursing but you hate the idea of studying nursing and bodies and things like that for 3 or 4 years, there's no way that you're going to stay motivated the whole time. So you need to pick something that you're motivated to learn about, that you're interested to learn about, and that you can imagine spending hours and hours and hours studying and researching and things like that. But also, if you don't think there's anything at uni that you want to do, if you can't think of anything that is interesting to you, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Not everyone has to go to university, and don't feel bad if you don't want to go to university. My best friend Giorgio, she hasn't gone to university, and if you ask her why, she will say there is nothing that she is 100% sure that she wants to invest the time and money into, because one, university is years and years out of your life, and also it's a lot of money. So you want to be sure about what you want to study, and I think that not studying unless you're sure is such a smart idea, and I really admire Giorgio for making that decision. I think it's stupid to study for the sake of studying, if I'm being completely honest. If you want to do that, you do you, but honestly just do something that you're passionate about and that you want a career in for the rest of your life. The next question is, how many days do you go into uni each week? Is it better to cram all of your classes into a couple of days or spread them out throughout the week? So at my university, psychology is a fairly light course in terms of contact hours. I am extremely lucky that I don't have to go into uni like 5 days a week. In the first semester, I fit all of my classes into 1 day. So in semester 1 of my first year, I was at uni for like 12 or more hours, and I crammed all of my classes into that 1 day because I wanted to be able to work and things like that. And honestly, I regretted it so much. Every Thursday, I was always so drained by the end of the day. I wouldn't really listen in my last classes because I was just so tired. It just wasn't a good idea. In the second semester, however, I broke it up into 2 days, and I did like 2 half days. So I was at uni till about 3 p.m. for 2 days a week, and I loved that. I found it so good and so much better than cramming it all into 1 day. Like I said, it's very rare to be able to have 1 or 2 days at uni. A lot of people that I know are there for like 3 to 4 days a week, and I know a lot of other degrees like OTs and physios have a really jam-packed schedule, and I'm pretty sure they're usually there for like 4 to 5 days a week. So it really depends on the course that you're studying in terms of how many days you're at uni for. You don't really get to choose how many days you're there for. You just have to fit your classes into the timetable that they give you, and you kind of have to find out what works for you. So for me personally, it works a lot better for me to have 2 shorter days or 3 shorter days rather than 1 or 2 jam-packed days. I feel like I just absorb the information a lot more and stay a lot more motivated and energized throughout the day. Do you still get high school politics at university? I thought this was such an interesting question, and in my experience, no way. I was really lucky in high school. Our school didn't really have like the popular people and like the dorky people or whatever. Like there was no like hierarchy really. Everyone was kind of like a level playing field. But at university, I feel like there's just such a huge diversity of people. Like it's the biggest range of people I've ever seen in one place in my entire life. There are just so many different types of people and no one really cares about popularity. In my experience, I don't really think popularity exists at university. I could be wrong, but in my experience, I haven't seen it. How did you stay motivated throughout the year without the constant push from teachers like you get in high school? A big difference from high school to university is the amount of scaffolding and the amount of help you get from teachers and things like that. In high school, I feel like your assignments are very structured, they're very scaffolded, you get told exactly what you need to do basically, and you can always go and ask for extra help from teachers, and you have a whole lot of people around you who are doing the exact same thing. If they're in the same grade as you, they're usually doing something very similar. In the same subject as you, they're doing something very similar, so it's easy to ask them, ask your teachers. There's just an endless amount of help you can receive from the people around you. In university, there's a lot less of that extra help. You get given your assignment outline and you definitely get given help, but a lot of it is up to you, so you have to kind of figure things out for yourself. You can definitely still ask for help from your tutors and from the lecturers and stuff like that, but it's a lot more based on yourself, so you have to reach out to get that help, and it's just not given to you as easily as it was in high school. So like I said, you can still get all of the extra help that you need, you just have to go out and find it or go out and ask for it. What was the hardest thing about starting uni? I think one of the hardest things for me was I went to the same school for 8 years, I think. So I was surrounded by the same teachers, by the same people, by the same campus. Just everything was really, really similar and very, very much the same for like 8 years of my life, because I went to the same primary school and high school, like they were the same school. So when I went to university, it was just so much change at once. It was a new campus and my university is one of the biggest universities in Queensland. So that was really difficult trying to find classes and navigating myself around that. I was also surrounded by thousands of new people. I don't have anyone that I know doing the same course as me, at the same uni as me, so that was really difficult. I think just the amount of newness there was probably the hardest thing about starting university. But a year later, I feel very comfortable there. I kind of know my way around. I still don't have a lot of friends, but I just feel a lot more comfortable. So it was hard at the start, but it's not as hard anymore. What is your favorite part about uni? I think my favorite part is the fact that I'm studying something that I'm passionate about and something that I love and something that will help me with my future career, and the fact that when I graduate and when I get that degree and when I get that qualification, I'll be able to go out and help people who need help. And having that idea in the back of my head is really motivating, so I really love that. How to prioritize uni over work. I think this is something that a lot of people struggle with when they first start uni, because obviously you finish school so you can work more often, but you also have to go to uni. But it's hard because you go to work and you get paid, whereas you go to uni and you don't get paid. And there's not that same requirement to be at uni as there was at high school. Like you had to go to high school. It's like by law you have to be there. But with university, if you don't show up, it's your loss. Like they don't care. And a lot of people get caught up in that and they end up going to work or putting work first because they're getting paid for it and it seems nicer at the time. But there are a couple of things that I try to keep in mind that remind me that university is definitely more important than the casual job I'm working at the moment. I do love my job and I obviously need to earn money to support myself, but at the same time I'm paying a lot of money to be at university, and I think that's something that a lot of people forget. We have HECS here in Australia, which means you basically don't pay for your university degree now, but you will pay for it later on. So you're basically getting a loan and then you pay it off later on. But because you're not paying it off right now, it doesn't seem like you're spending a lot of money. But I think my statistics lecturer worked it out once and he told us how much it actually costs us per lecture or per tutorial, and it's honestly a lot of money for every single class you have, and that would be such a waste of money to miss out on that. So if you skip uni to go to work, yes, you might be earning money at your casual job or part-time job or whatever it is, but you're honestly losing a lot of money at uni as well, especially because that does increase the likelihood of you failing the class, which means you have to repeat the class, which means you have to pay another couple of $1,000s. Even though you're not paying for it now, you will have to pay for it later. And the other thing I like to keep in mind is that yes, it sucks at the moment and I would really like to be working and earning money right now. The job that I'm gonna get after having this qualification and this degree is gonna earn me a lot more money than the part-time job or the casual job that I have right now. I do earn money from that job, but I'm gonna earn a lot more money from the future job, and I don't wanna be stuck in a little part-time job for the rest of my life. So doing university and working hard at university just gets me closer to the goal that I want to achieve of my future career. What motivates you when it comes down to doing an assignment/homework that you really really dislike. One of the biggest things is that if you fail the subject or the assignment or whatever, you have to redo it anyway, so it's better to pass it the first time. Another thing is that the sooner you start on that piece of assessment, that assignment, the study for that exam, anything like that, the better chance you have of passing and the easier it will be and the less stressful it will be. If you don't want to get stressed at uni, the best advice I can give you is to stay organized and on top of your work. If you hate that subject or hate that assignment, just do 20 minutes on it a day. Just do a little bit at a time so it doesn't become this overwhelming, horrible thing that you have to deal with. And the last question I have for this Q&A is, do you ever wish you took a gap year? And I know a lot of people who do take gap years and who love it and who are very, very happy that they did one to figure out what they want to do or to just kind of take a break after 12 years of study. But for me personally, I just never even really considered taking a gap year. I am the type of person who always wants to be working, who always wants to be achieving, who never likes to sit still, who always wants to be reaching a higher goal. And I just don't think that having a gap year would have worked for me. I don't think I would have enjoyed just working in retail in my part-time job for a year. I don't think I would have enjoyed just kind of sitting back and relaxing for a year. I love working. I love studying. I love doing things that I'm passionate about, and psychology is the thing that I'm passionate about. So I don't think I would have enjoyed it, and I don't think it would have been helpful to me. I remember my parents saying to my brother, I think because he was considering a gap year, and they kind of said, just be careful because you don't want to lose all the study habits and the motivation that you had leaving year 12 before going into university. So I don't think it would happen with every single person, but some people might have really good study habits, a really good like school routine coming out of year 12, and then after taking a year off, they just won't want to go back into it. I don't know if that would have happened to me. I didn't really consider it, but it's something that you do want to consider. You just don't want to lose that routine and that motivation that you had. But I do think for some people a gap year is super helpful and definitely necessary, and it's really good for people to de-stress or earn a bit of money or go traveling or just do whatever they want to do before kind of settling into their career or their study choice. But for me personally, I just don't think I would have enjoyed it. But those are all of the questions I have to answer today. I hope some of them may have helped you out. If you have any other questions that I didn't answer, leave them in the comments below so I can try and answer them for you. I also hope you enjoyed this university series that I've just done. If you have any other university videos that I didn't do during this week, but you would still like to see, I will still definitely be making university related videos in the future. So leave them as a comment below as well, and I'll try my best to film them in the future sometime. If you haven't subscribed, definitely do that. Click the red button down below. But other than that, I guess I'll see you guys in my next video very soon. Goodbye.